I'm aware that abundance is my birthright. I don't accept nothing else. I don't hear you. If somebody's talking about doom and gloom, I don't understand that.
Whoa. Hello everyone, welcome. So I was watching this video and I figured, you know what, I'm gonna share this. I think it's called I was watching it on this channel called Social Proof. Social Proof. It's on YouTube. I think they got Instagram and everything too. I'm not sure, but anyways, I'll be watching some of their materials and I just figure, okay, this is something that I probably should share, because you know, when you get the information coming from someone who, you know, I'm trying to reach a wide audience, not just one specific audience. Like, my channel is for everyone, black, white, pink, purple, don't matter. However, like I stated in one of my earlier videos I had did, like, a lot of people like us, meaning like blacks, you know, Jamaicans, whoever, the ones who are not fortunate, I'm not gonna say less fortunate, because words are important and nobody should ever consider themselves as less fortunate or minority, or I don't even like none of those terms, you know what I mean? Because once you put yourself in like a bracket, then you start using terms like those and you're just gonna live like that. But anyway, so I seen this video and I decided, you know what, let me chop it up, and because it's a long interview, you should go over to their page and watch it. Social Proof. Good shit, like good material. Like, you know, I seen this one video too with this, I believe he's like a 14-year-old kid who retired his mom, making millions. But yeah, so I'm gonna share this video. I hope you watch it all the way through the end, and I hope you like it and share and subscribe to the page. Don't forget to subscribe. All right.
Because again, from a law of attraction and practicality, right? Because the truth of the matter is that law of attraction is practical. I just say that because a lot of people are like, oh, law of attraction, you know, speak things into existence. No, it's not. That's part of it, right? But it has to start with the vision. You can't get to a place if you don't know where you're going. Yeah. You can't get to a place if you can't see it. Right? And so you have to combine the two. You have to combine that vision with the actual practical steps. And the practical step is to know. Yeah. You have to know. I can tell you right now what my ideal lifestyle looks like. I'm aware that abundance is my birthright. I don't accept nothing else. I don't hear you. If somebody's talking about doom and gloom, I don't understand that. Me no speaking. I don't speak that language. I love it. And so I would tell anybody who's having that, and it's not me poking fun at it. It's not me making light of it. It's reality. Yeah. Reality is what you focus on. Period. Right? If you're sick and you're focusing on your sickness, you're not gonna get healthy.
Yeah, 100%.
If you broke and you focusing on being broke, you're not gonna get wealthy. You understood your power, right? And not to get, you know, all godly and spiritual, but I believe I'm God, right? Little G. Greatness on display. I'm made in the image and likeness of God. And so if God can have everything, well, I can't have everything. If I'm made in the image and likeness of God, then I'm that. And so what's happening is that entrepreneurs, 9-to-5ers, people who are not living their best life, they're not asking. They asking timid. They saying, I'm not sure. So universe say, okay, your wish is my command. So I'm gonna show you why you're not sure. So I'm not gonna give you nothing to make you sure. Your wish is my command. But for the people who walk that walk like, yo, this is me. I got this. Universe says, okay, wish is my command. You do got this.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like, you know, it's something that people need to understand. You got to know who you are. You know what I'm saying? Whether you believe in God, Allah, Buddha, whatever it is, whatever you believe in, you have to understand that you were made in the image and likeness of God. And your job on this earth is to display God. It's to demonstrate God. Greatness on display. G-O-D. G-O-D. That's what you're supposed to be doing. Banking wasn't what it is today. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody walks into banks now. And so I'm walking into this branch. It's a black dude from Jamaica. He's Jamaican. His name is Michael Black, and he's the branch manager. Like, he runs this mega branch. We had 2 floors. We had about 20, 30 tellers. We had 10 bankers. And so I'm watching this dude walk through the bank, and he's the boss, right? The majority of our clients are white, you know what I'm saying? And he runs it. At that point, it opened up my mind. You know, Einstein saying once your mind is stretched to a certain level, you can't unstretch it. It opened up my mind and say, whoa, wow, I'm a teller right now, but I could get to this dude's level where I'm, you know, like running things.
So you just pretty much, you saw somebody that you can model yourself after.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
So I need to know your first lessons in money.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you are around the money, right? And you're understanding how it works, and you're seeing the overdraft fees.
Yeah.
What was your first lesson in money as a 19-year-old?
Yeah, first lesson in money is that we got to stop working hard for money. Money needs to work hard for us, right? Because most of the people who I knew who had the overdraft fees, who were struggling, were the people who worked, right? They exchanged time for money, their physical labor for money. The people who were living it up, you know, the clients that had time to you know, kick back at my desk and just shoot the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like those clients, you know, they were bosses. They owned something. They created something that keep paying them over and over, right? They had employees, or they were, you know, the landlords who bought the property and the tenants were paying them. Like every single one of the folks that I knew that were wealthy had an asset, and the asset paid for the things, not their labor. And so I said, you know what? I got to stop working hard for money. I got to figure out, how do I get some assets, right? Because here's the deal. There are 4 types of people on this earth. You got consumers, producers, investors, and philanthropists.
Consumers, producers, investors, and philanthropists. Okay, talk to me.
What happens is most people are only consumers, right? They make money, they consume. They make money, they consume. And what are they doing? They're stopping the cycle of money, right? Money's supposed to circulate. And what happens is that as consumers, they're just consuming, and now they have to work again to make some money. But what if you were a consumer and a producer? Now you consume, but now you're producing something. And as you produce, you're now putting that thing out to sell, and now people are paying you for it. If you're investing, right, now you take that money and you're investing in something, that investment is paying you back. If you're a philanthropist, you're giving to something that you love. Universal law, the more you give, the more you get. So now you become all 4 people, you're truly financially free. Because not only does the money come in, I consume, I produce, I invest, I give away, and from those other 3 buckets, things are coming back to me. From being a producer, I get stuff back. From being an investor, I get money back. From being a philanthropist, I get opportunities and things back. Right? And so my first lesson was like, yo, we got to stop working hard for money. We got to change that relationship.